guys, welcome to Kpop Talks. I'm your host. Probably gonna recognize me because I looked the exact same way like in the other video, but this is gonna be the best Kpop albums of November 2023. It's a super long list of projects. This probably has been the most productive in terms of sheer numbers of quality projects I've heard in probably 3 years. No, that's not true. Probably 6 years. I think since 2018 I haven't heard these many good projects all put together in a month. This is fucking incredible. And without wasting any more time, let's get right into the video with the first album in question. The first album is Kim Phil with Life. This is just a straight up good project. Well produced, well sang, different styles of production that Kim Phil approaches music with, from more mainstream productions to more classic R&B to classic ballads. He does it a little bit all and does it all very, very good. Kim Phil delivers one of the best projects of November, and if you like this style of music, probably one of your favorites of the year. Next we have PH1 and Pop Off. PH1 keeps following another incredible year of music for himself, releasing quality projects with really good features on here, showcasing an ability to perform on a song with everyone at a high level, and having, I think, a great year for productions as well, because I don't think it's a case anymore that I go into a PH1 project and it's filled with incredible producers and incredible productions from front to back. I don't know if he produces his own music, I don't know if he has his own producer. Regardless, it works and he brings incredible music to the industry, which is really needed. PH1, he's the best Korean rapper right now active. You can argue a bunch of others. I don't think it's really arguable as of right now in 2023 going into 2024. Next up, Vivid with Verses. I think this is the best album Vivid has released since debuting as a trio. It's pretty much the same, but I've just enjoyed the songs more. I feel like also thematically, aesthetically, they just fit with each other a little bit more. They're not as detached as you normally tend to get into this project. Even the slower jams aesthetically remind you of the other 2 or 3 songs. It just creates a more enjoyable listening experience, I would say. Next we have Youngjae with Do It. Who would have thought a year ago when GOT7 announced their pretty much disbandment and reliving JYP that Youngjae was gonna be the best solo artist out of the smaller members of the group, removing Bang Bang and Jackson, which are super successful. Just an incredible album, I think. I think Youngjae has grown a lot artistically. It's a very cohesive project front to back. He's always been my favorite member for specifically his voice. I always enjoyed his voice, color, and the fact that this album showcased that at its best. It's fun. His single is one of my favorite singles of the year, so I don't have much to say. I think he's an incredible artist, and I think this album showcases that perfectly. I think it's a great getaway to get into Youngjae as an artist, as a person as well. Next we have Soojin with Agassi. Now the reason why I put this album in here, even though it's short, it's very short, it's not just because it's good, it's also because I think she deserves it. You know, she got fucked by Cube, she got fucked by the liars, the light on her name, and she came back strong. And hopefully 2024 will be a great year for her, and it will kickstart an amazing career, a second career for her after a debacle that she had with, you know, unfortunately the misconceptions that people created out of hate and jealousy from high school shit. Think about it. Imagine people having you ruin your life because in high school we had a fight, so people decided to ruin your life because of it, and you'll lose because you're a famous person. They will win nothing apart from just being cunts for the rest of their lives. Next we have Kiss of Life with Born to Be XX. I think Kiss of Life is probably, in a way, the biggest surprise of 2023. Who would have thought that a group from such a small company, an unknown company, could be such an interesting group? Normally these groups tend to be very generic. They don't take any risks. These companies said, fuck it, we're gonna do it our own way, and they did. Now if Triple Ace didn't exist, probably they would be my girl group, my rookie girl group of the year, but since Triple S exists, they will not be, unfortunately. Having said that, what the fuck are you gonna say to anything like this? Very good project, made by a company that has something to do and something to say in the K-pop sphere, which is fucking good, and it's needed right now in the industry more than ever. Next is Stray Kids with Rockstar. I think this is what I've always said about Stray Kids. If only they did a little bit of variety production wise, Listen how much better the album is. It's more fun, it's more colorful, it's just more enjoyable. Still, there's problems, I think, with the repetitiveness of the way they how do you call it in English, the progression of the members singing on the track. So the order, it's the same every time, but at least it's on different productions, it's on different aesthetics. And there's an element of trying to do something a little bit different. So how I can really hate someone for doing something different at the end of the day, you know. Next you have Red Velvet with Chill Kill. Even though I've criticized the single a little bit, it's still a pretty good K-pop album. I mean, SM as always delivers a very good project. Red Velvet, as I've stated in the past, and I'll probably make a video about it, has probably the best K-pop discography ever. It's really 5 or 6 group you can really argue, and Red Velvet is one of them. They're just very good. Whoever produces their music helps them write it. Like, they really understand their girl's strength perfectly. When they think about it, they debuted with a K-pop album, and their second comeback was R&B. That's when I understood that they were gonna be different. So Red Velvet Chill Kill, there is another very good project that showcase the strength not only of their music but their company when they're really focused. Completely the opposite of what happens unfortunately with NCT in certain moments. Next up, Crush with Wonder Ego. Crush, after pretty much 2 years of almost not dropping anything, comes back with a pretty good album. A very interesting produced album, interesting choruses, interesting experimentations, songs that are super mainstream to songs with almost no lyrics. He decided to really try it all, and I think he has done an amazing job overall to deliver a very, very good project. It's long, it's not perfect, but to deliver that long of an album and do it as good as he does showcase a level of maturity as an artist that it's very rare, not only in Korea but in music in general. And then you have aespa with Drama. Exactly what I said about Red Velvet. Just very good album. I know old school, obviously in quotation, like of Drama 3 years ago. aespa fans hate this new. I love it. I think it fits as aespa perfectly, the girls perfectly, their aesthetic perfectly, and they just deliver great music. It's short, it works, and more importantly, it makes sense, which is very, very rare in 4th generation girl groups specifically. The aesthetics a lot of times make sense with the girls inside of the group. Next we have Tama with Woof. As I've said about Tama, he is just a complete artist. I've said it a million times. He clearly understands who he is, his style, his strengths, his weaknesses, and he brings the best out of himself every single time inside of a track. You're never gonna get him into a track to be bad. It's impossible. So all of the R&B, the soul, the neo soul, the jazz, the blues influences, the pop music influences are there, and they're fantastic. By one of the best male singers and one of the best soloists Korea has had the last 3 or 4 years, easily. Next you have Vix with Continuum. I think Vix just brings back the flood of 2nd generation, an album that showcases how much you can really do just out of 4 or 5 tracks. Not reinventing the wheel, but taking that wheel that we have and doing something good with it, something a little bit different. Similar to Infinite, as I've said this year, they've made a comeback. They have one of the best songs of the year. You're never gonna hear a 4th generation boy group make a song like this. It's too risky. Probably people are not gonna fuck with it as much as they should. So it showcases the level that these guys were at, but it's also because they were in the most competitive era for male groups. So they came, and you know how they say, steel sharpens steel, you know. So you gotta get better. You gotta be hard boiled to survive during that era, and they did, and they thrived, and that's why they came out to release stuff like this, where, you know, it's an album where they record in 2 weeks, a month, and look what they delivered. Imagine if they had 3 or 4 months to drop a full-length project. The people's head would explode, in my opinion. Next I have Dreamcatcher with Villains. It's pretty good. Dreamcatcher album is probably my favorite. It's, let's say, one of my 2 or 3 favorites of the last 3 years, since Dreamcatcher releases a lot of albums. It's just good pop music. Less and less rock, but it's objectively good pop music. The girls singing is really good. I think they've really found a style for them that works, and they don't overuse it as much as they were doing, for example, even with their earlier rock projects, where the style was a little bit overused, even though it was good. And next we have MC&D with Odd Venture, just a fun project throughout, from start to finish, just fun, lighthearted, enjoyable, just a very fun project. They're very rare at this point in this industry, so it's when they exist and they're good, and they're well produced, and they are quality, they have to be, I think, pushed. And MC&D is a group that deserves that this year specifically. Like I said, it was a terrible year for boy groups. I don't know what the fuck happened. There's a Rocky with Rockist. Listen, I've talked about Rocky in my Weekly Cable recap. This album is just pretty good, I think, for a debut. He clearly knows who he is, and he's not really hiding about it. And his egocentrism comes out, but if he channels that through his music in a good way, he can give us a lot of satisfactions as listeners. Next we have The Deep with Messy Room, a very, very underground project by a soul female artist. It's good. She did everything on her own, and it's actually a very enjoyable project. There's, like I said, there's that element of fun similar to Young Posse, where they don't care about views, they don't care about being super mainstream, they're just doing their own style. And The Deep is the perfect example of style. I love the productions that she uses, and the way she uses her voice on these productions to kind of play around and have fun. So really, really enjoyable project from The Deep. One of the more interesting, I think, discoveries I've made the last 2 years, really. Next we have Maeve, What My Name, another fun project, short, sweet, to the point, enjoyable, banger after banger after banger. This is what Blackpink should be doing, and they aren't really. Next we have Taeyeon with 2X. As I've said about SM, they're not gonna drop bad albums. They understand their artists, and 2X is a perfect project in itself. It's Taeyeon through and through. It's not as good as the other stuff she released this year, but it's overall quality, and it's way better than most stuff you're gonna hear in this industry anyway. Next we have a Japanese artist. Yes, I'm gonna put a Japanese artist. This I don't give a fuck. Reol with Black Box. I mean, this must be her best album since the unreleased, the no title one she has from 2016. It's just perfect. Every song is different, every song is fantastic, every song is extremely well produced, and Reol's voice is amazing, unique, powerful, and it's full of charisma and emotion. Japanese music is so far ahead of Korean music even now, it's ridiculous in many ways. And last but not least, we have Sakurazaka 46 with Shonin Yoku. This might be their best release since debut, I think, in terms of a full-length project. It's more enjoyable, I think, through and through. Also, because it's shorter, it helps the other albums were a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, it's a solid album, and I think, again, I love Sakurazaka. They've improved a lot vocally, all of them. We compare them to when they started. It helped us definitely, though, that they had a batch of very good singers from the start, whether it was Matsudari, I mean, Masumoto is not a bad singer, for example. Right now I'm blanking, but there's other girls right now. As always, I always blank about stuff like this. But Kobayashi, obviously. So they have a batch of very good singers. And Karin has improved a lot. Tension has improved a lot. Morita has improved. Like, their Cerberus has improved. And the other girls are getting better and more charismatic. And you can start to even hear them inside of an album like this, which is really rare. So Sakurazaka is growing, and every month that passes becoming a better and better group. I expect, I don't know, I wouldn't say I expect, but I wouldn't be surprised if in like 5 years Sakurazaka is the biggest J-pop girl group in Japan. I wouldn't be surprised. And it was it for the best albums of November. A very long list. There was albums that were more to say, less others, because Taeyeon has released a lot of music this year. Not much to really sit there and talk too much. Maeve, it's just good music, much like just bangers. Not much to talk about, but the albums deserved a little bit more. We got into them. It was a long list, a lot of great music, and I thought it was a fantastic month in that sense, specifically for albums. Not necessarily for singles, but definitely for projects overall. Tell me, what are your favorite albums of 2023 that came out in November? Obviously, I don't know why I keep saying the year, but they came out in November. And tell me what are your favorite albums, and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and see you next time. Goodbye.